Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Domali again, and today I'll be showing you how to make something a bit interesting. It's actually going to be a two-part ladle, so we're going to be connecting the scoop and the handle using a very simple joint. The reason why I'm doing it in two parts is because usually when you want to make a ladle, you need a pretty huge blank in order to account for the curve, and this also affects the grain that you're going to be working on when it reaches the scoop area. So with these two-part ladles, it's easier for you to find a couple of pieces of scrap and just put them together. So what you're going to need, your hacksaw and coping saw, mallet, square. Keep a couple of scrap pieces around so we can secure the workpiece later on. Flat chisels, your gouge chisel, and I'll be using my coping saw jig if you have one. Yeah. So let's get started. You can see that the joint we're going to be using is actually a tail, one dovetail, fitted into a socket on the scoop. After that, we'll sculpt it down to get the rounded shape of the ladle. The blanks that I'm starting with are this piece of walnut for the scoop and Meranti for the handle. So the first thing you want to do is actually to cut the mark and cut out the socket and the tail on the handle. First thing that I do is to mark out the height that the tail on the handle is going to have to be, and in order to do that I just get a square side of the scoop backed up against the square side of the handle, and then I just want to scribe it there, and then I'll go ahead and draw the shape of the tail here. So you can see I marked out the tail. What I usually do is just to go from the upper corner to something down here that gives me a substantial amount of body, and I've also squared the line around the sides, but you notice I don't have to do it all the way to this side because the tail itself is only going to be lodged into a socket of about this wide. I kind of eyeball this distance because all I need is enough space for a roundish scoop. Yeah. And we'll go ahead and do this on the other side as well. So once I have that, those saw marks established, I'm actually not too concerned with trying to saw this very thin wedge of wood down. I'll just go straight to paring it. So the first thing you want to do is to bring this down to the line that you've drawn. Of course, get in a more comfortable position and awkwardly paring it like that so that you can get a good view of the. And once you go down the line, we want to square it up to a distance, the distance that we've marked out for the socket on this piece. At least up to this point. I like to go a bit further. As long as it's been squared all the way to here, or rather shaped down all the way to past this point, I'm happy. You can see the shape of the tail is looking pretty even. You want to bring this shoulder down flat as well. You could lay down a knife line and then chop it down slowly, or you can just pare it as well. I think I might do both. Right, so you've got something like that. In order to check for flatness over here, as usual, you're going to place your chisel over here and look out for gaps of light underneath. Wherever you've got very obvious gaps of light, you'll know that you have to take that down. So right for now, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. Now I've gotten the depth of the socket that I want squared all around on this scoop piece, and how I transfer this tail onto the socket is I want to keep it flat against a backing. Okay, and then I'll square it down on both sides so I'll know the waste material that I want to remove. So I marked out very clearly where the waste is that I want to remove. Make sure to cut inside of the line because we're doing a socket. What you want to do is to mark out the top and bottom of the scoop. Since the tail is going to be attached like that, so the thinner side is actually going to be the top for sure. And you see that I've drawn out the rough shape of the scoop as well, which will help me with the gouging of the scoop later. Now what I'm going to do is chop up this center piece out, exactly the way that you cut a dovetail tail. And just go ahead and clean it up. You've got your scoop to fit with the handle. What I'm going to do is actually to draw the shape of the handle that I want, and I'm going to make these like relief cuts down this way so that it's going to be much easier for me to chop out. Or you could use the coping saw. Yeah, I'll show you both methods. Once you got these cuts in here, you can actually start bulking this material down. Secure it from the other side. Right. And all the saw marks that we put in there act as like a stop cut. So I can remove this material fairly quickly. So of course, if you're making a downward cut, meaning you're following a slope downwards, you do not want to be cutting in this direction because it's going to tear out. So I'll do it this way. Okay, I'm going to move inside now because it's getting hot. So here's the alternative, which is just to coping saw the entire way. So now we're down at the handle, we can start working on the scoop. As usual, I have marked out the circle, and I'm going to start working down from this area, but I want to be careful over here, basically everywhere that's nearer to the joint. So I'll bring everything beyond this point down to the depth that I want, but over here I don't want to touch the joint just yet. We'll do more refining once we've glued the pieces together. I've already covered like using the gouge chisel in a lot of my other videos, so I didn't go too much into the detail about that. What I want you to take note of is actually how I use my stump to anchor the workpiece, and you see that I have like a 3-point anchor, so I could be working in this direction, not so much in this direction. Why would I do that? But like so even if I'm butting it up against a wall, I get this ability to work on a corner comfortably and then travel along to the sides. Yeah, so it's all about optimizing the stump. What I've done on this side is basically just hold fastered a piece of plywood, which acts as a stop block. You see that I've left the joint pretty much untouched, and I'm just doing the last of my cleanup before I saw the scoop down to a rounder shape. And I have my coping saw jig back up. I actually saw the one corner, but I forgot to press record. Anyway, we'll go for this corner now. And I don't want to cut into my joint. So maybe you can have a little bit of allowance for the very end, but I would suggest just completely avoiding it. I can get started on carving. I've just held fast the scoop facing downwards over here and using a small piece of scrap to cushion it. And then I just want to chop down the sides to create that roundness first. I don't want to punch through to, I don't want to punch through into the cavity below, so I'll try and take light cuts to start with. Here I'm back to my 3-point stop block kind of deal, and I'm just going to pare most of it down. I want it to be about 80% at least of the shape that my final scoop is going to be, just so that once we've glued the handle in, we don't need to do so much carving. And now the funnish part, where I'm just gonna steep glue into the gaps. Oops. Once you have it glued in, you can start carving the handle down while waiting for the glue to completely set. Yeah, usually I just find something to anchor it against, and then I can just start shaping it this way. I will use bevel down for concaves, and then when I reach like a more convex curve, I use bevel up. But yeah, you just get comfortable with it, and just make sure your hands are behind the blade. If you need to, you can also draw some guidelines on the front in case you want to do a taper in the center. But I'm just gonna go by eye and see what I feel like doing. At this point, once you've got the shape of the ladle pretty much down, you can move on to sanding, or if you like, you can carve it to a finish. I've decided to sand because I want to go with linseed oil as the finish on this. So definitely I want to get it as smooth as possible, so I don't have the oil pooling in places. As you can see, the finished product darkens quite a bit once you've applied linseed oil. And I've also drilled a hole in one of the handles. You can do that if you want. You've got a hand drill at home. It's handy for if you want to hang it up. And that's our completed ladle. So this was the one that I had made in the video. You can see that I played with the sizes of the scoops and the shape of the handles, and you can do that depending on the kinds of scraps that you have available to you. So this was kind of like an interesting project to combine joinery and carving. You'll notice that the joinery part actually takes like almost no time, and carving is the one that requires more time just because of how much material you have to remove. Yeah, you just want to be patient with it because we're going to be working a pretty thin stock when it gets to a certain point, and you don't want to snap the handle when you get close to the end. Again, thank you for watching, and do like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I will see you in the next video.